Hello and welcome back to Castlegoat. I stand, or rather sit, before you a pauper. For my teacup, my favourite teacup as it happens, is full only with water. I cannot, as the leader of this band of gnomes, in good conscience, feast when my people go hungry, and by the same token, whilst they thirst, whilst they endure the ravages of tea withdrawal, I cannot drink tea, though I have the means. I must endure this pain with them. Although this may mean my tactical decisions will be less than sound, as my mind becomes addled, bound in fetter, we will forge onward, and hope that whatever gnomish gods there may be, they will grant us the strength to make it through this. As you can see, I'm moving things around a little bit. Currently, I am moving the pasture since my original plan to have the yaks hold up over here to spot goblins isn't going to work. And I've also been told that this, once I build a balcony, will actually prevent my trees from growing. I'm moving the groves down here instead and a little bit over, where's the other one? Yeah, we've got a grove there, vineyard there, and we'll have 3 separate groves down here. I'm also getting rid of this because we're not going to need it because there is already a way up onto the ramparts over there. So the next stage is to make a ramp down and then remove those ramps later on. Let me get down to the right level. There we go. Now, I have off-screen done a bit of work on the jobs, the profession specifically. A couple of people have made mention in the comments that given our population, it does seem like we should try now to get some specialization going on amongst the gnomes so that they can start skilling up, because that is really going to make a very big difference later on, and that is quite true. So I've made all of these professions. We'll still keep Pioneer and Provisioner. They may be useful to just assign to nomads in the initial influx so that we can just get them into the fort if we can. But we have quite a few. I'll go through them. Yeah, actually, I'll show you all of the skills as well, just so you can see what they're set up. They're all set up to use the hard time uniform, which is basically nothing. So we've got our miners who will do all stone, including masonry, and I'll cover that in a second. They'll also do pottery and prospecting. We haven't got a prospect workshop, so that's not really going to come in. This is common to all of the professions: caretaking and construction and hauling. We can already see, I believe, Mitzasapia being taken care of there. Now, the miners will do mining first, then they will build anything that needs to be built, then they will work in the workshop, so that covers pottery, prospecting, all the mason skills. Finally, they will do work with the hospital if there's any work, no other work to be done. And if there's nothing to be done in the hospital, then they will haul. Now, the way I've got that set up, hospital, then hauling, at the bottom of the list is true of all but one of the professions. Mason is exactly the same as miner, except workshop and mining have been reversed. So they'll work in the workshop first, and then they'll build something. And if there's nothing to build and nothing to do in the workshop, then they will mine. And this is mirrored in lumberjack and carpentry, only for the wood workshop jobs. Though with lumberjack and carpentry, they have agriculture and grove turned on. Now, the reason for that is that grove, you might expect me to have grove, but not agriculture. But agriculture will cover things like if I designate a tree to be cut down. That will be an agriculture task rather than a grove task. These automatic jobs to cut trees down, those will be grove tasks. So that's why we've got agriculture enabled for the lumberjacks and carpenters. Next, we've got tailors. They do all forms of cloth stuff and leather working, and then obviously doctoring and caretaking and hauling and building. Now, they've got workshop, build, hospital, hauling. That's going to be true of most of the others. Fleshsmith are butchers. Now, just covering something here. The name does have a little bit more implication than just a butcher, because our fleshsmith will also, if needs be, work as a doctor. Their primary job is bone carving, so when they've gotten bones, they'll also do the bone carving, and they'll do the butchery. And that may involve butchering living people. I'm just going to say this now, probably best if you don't get sick. Because, you know, time's hard and the gnomes don't necessarily know what meat is in their sandwich all the time. They may not notice that you've been missing for a few days. I'm just putting it out there. You know, I'm just forewarned is forearmed. Next, we have the Beastmasters. Now, they are going to be taking care of our animals. So they'll have animal husbandry and farming, caretaking and miscellaneous. First and foremost, they'll work in the pasture. If there's no work there, they'll try to build something. If there's nothing to be built, they'll work in agriculture and farming. Again, agriculture is a higher priority than farming for this. So if I've told them I want this tree harvested of fruit outside the fort, I want that done above the farm so I can try and get that work done quickly and then not have to worry about people going outside. Druid, they are basically our farmers and have all of the same tasks that the Beastmasters have, only in reverse. They'll do pasturing after they've checked if there's anything to be built, after they've checked the farms, after they've checked whether I've designated anything to be foraged outside the fort. Next, we have our doctor. They've only got one job, really, doctoring, and obviously hauling and construction. They'll work in the hospital first. Now, these are the only ones who will do hospital before anything else. They will then build, haul. They've only got 3 tasks. Next, we've got our artisans. Now, our artisans are probably the largest spread of skills in the fort. And this will be further broken down when I've got more gnomes to be able to fill the roles. But for now, this will allow us to have every job covered. So our artisans are smiths, but more than smiths because they actually have pride in their work and they put little frilly bits on it and you know, engravings on the metal. They go that extra mile. They also work with the gems because that kind of ties into all that beautifying of their metalwork. You know, they will be the most elaborate and luxurious pots and pans in all the gnomish kingdoms. But they do the metalwork and gem smithing and that sort of thing, but they also do our tinkering. Now, this will almost certainly be broken off into a separate profession at some point. But for now, they work in workshops, so that includes everything but the tinker's workshop. They'll build, then they'll do hospital and hauling, and last they will do tinkering, because I don't really want them getting mixed, because the thing with tinkering is it's a job that, until very late in the game, is always going to have something to do. So I've put that below hauling and hospital because I want them to check those jobs first, because they will not always have something to do, so eventually they'll have something to tinker. But until we actually get a specific profession for tinkering, tinkering will be the last priority. Obviously, in an inventor sort of profession, tinkering would be much higher up, and hauling probably wouldn't even occur because it's very unlikely there wouldn't be something to do in the tinker's workshop. But that's the artisan. Next, we've got the chef. Their job is basically cooking and the other default jobs. Again, workshop build, hospital hauling. And finally, the booze smith. Their job is brewing. Now, the chef and the booze smith don't cross jobs. I would have liked to have done that, but there's no real way of me telling them to prioritize distilling over kitchen or kitchen over distilling, because they're both workshop jobs. So I've had to make 2 separate jobs for that main profession, if you like. But that should mean that there'll be plenty of hauling manpower available. Now, you've seen what the jobs do and how they're prioritized. It is time to assign them. And I thought I'd do this on camera because this is probably the first time you're really going to get to see the skills of our gnomes. So, first and foremost, Dapper Jester, you've got mining 38, masonry 30, hauling 30. So, okay, we've seemed to, let's see if we've got any really high miners. Doesn't actually look like we do. So our highest mining is Dapper McJester. So Dapper McJester, you're going to be our miner. Now, if we hover over this, it'll tell us what relevant skills that Dapper McJester has. He isn't very good at pottery or prospecting, and that's fine. Or caretaking. He's not one for talking to people, really. Decent at hauling, though. Strong arms from all that mining. Now, next, masonry is the next thing we want to have a look at. And it looks like... yeah, it looks like you are probably the best mason. Now, I'm only checking the pioneers. I suppose I should check the provisioners as well, but it's unlikely that anyone down here is going to have a better mining or masonry skill because they haven't been working on it since entering the fort. So, it looks like Tamiz is the next best for that. So, Tamiz, you're going to be our mason then. Well done. Now, we want carpenters. Or lumberjacks, rather. So wood carving, wood chopping, wood cutting there, 32. Wood cutting, 29, okay. Anyone better than that? I doubt we're going to have anyone better than that down here, but we will check. No, no, no. No. Okay, so it would be Sheila is going to be our lumberjack. And I believe Edna with a carpentry of 29 and a wood cutting of 29 is probably going to be the best carpenter we've got. There we go. Right. And if they're not already the best, they will become the best very quickly, given that they're only going to be working on that task from now on. Next job is the tailor. So, who's going to have the best weaving? I believe I had fairly good weaving. 27. What about you? Now, this one could be anywhere. So, 15. Tailoring, 31. The weaver, the tailor does it all. So, the best one for us would be someone with fairly high in all three. Leather crafting, weaving, and tailor. Leatherworking, 13. You're the only one with leatherworking, from what I could see. So it's of you, 15 in weaving. You've got nothing. Got 27 in weaving. Bomberito, however, has 31 in weaving and 31 in tailoring. So well done. You are now our tailor. Now, the flesh smith. I think that's the next one. Yes, it is. So, oop, that's not what I wanted to do. Ah, now that's gone funky. Let's just close that. Right, we want a flesh smith. So, is that... Oh, okay. They've reorganized the list now, alphabetically, based on the assigned tasks. Okay, so we want butchery. And possibly also doctor and bone carver. No, nothing there really for me. I am not a flesh smith. I have not run into the doctor yet. Thankfully. Because I don't think that worked out well for the flesh smiths. Butchery 19. Leatherworking 13, no. Butchery 12. It does. You've got medic 12 though. 12 and 12. Anyone else? No. No, it doesn't look like we've actually got anyone better. Alana? Very well, although you've actually got fairly high animal husbandry. Is there anyone else with better animal husbandry than that? I don't think there is. Actually, ArchXL, you are going to be our flashsmith. Well done. Alana, by the looks of it, will become our beastmaster. Animal husbandry 14. That's not even anywhere close to Alana's. So, yeah. Alana, you are the beastmaster. Now we need a farmer. Farming 14. Now, the problem with this is, as the later jobs in the list are getting a smaller selection of people, thus, there may be someone who's much better at animal husbandry than Alana, but they've already been assigned a job because the job came up higher in the list. But overall, this will even itself out over time. The longer people are in these jobs, the better they will become at them. No, I don't think we've got very many farmers. I've got 27 in this skill. 14, 14. Oh, it looks like I'm the farmer then. War. I shall do my best to make sure we've got lovely food for both our yaks and ourselves, and also cotton for our tailor, Bomberito, and also strawberries and grapes. A lot of pressure is now on my rather diminutive little gnomish shoulders. My diminutive little gnomish soldiers. Wow. Okay, next on the list is doctor. So we want someone who's a good medic. I think we've already given the job away. Let's see. Well, if I set these all to medics, then I'll be able to quickly see who's the best. Right. Medic 9. Caretaking 7. Let's change you all to medics. In the future, once I actually, when I'm like naming a wave of nomads. I'll probably do this. I'll set everyone to a certain job and then just see which of the people who are there are decent for that job. Medic 11, 8, 9, 7, 9, 8. Okay, you're it. Metasapia is now our doctor. Artisan is next. It's a little bit easier now. There's only a few people I'm having to do. Wow. Okay, that is an awful lot of skills. Let's see, has anyone got any particularly high skills with this? You've actually got blacksmithing 13, and all of your skills tend to be in the 10s at the very least. Leo the Jester seems to have good engineering skills, though. Yeah, it looks like Flying Staplers is going to be our artisan. Well done. Now, Chef and Boozesmith. I think it goes to Deathbot is our chef, so that means by default, Leo the Jester is now our Boozesmith. Whether you're good at it or not, you'll just have to get better. But there we go, everyone is now assigned. Hurrah! Let us get back to things. And this is probably going to change how quickly people are able to get stuff done, because a lot of skills have just changed. Now, you may also notice that I've put 4 doors here now. My plan is to seal this off. In fact, I may do that now. Eventually, I will also change this to a stone wall, and we'll make it look really nice outside. We'll replace all of this with stone eventually. That is a fairly distant goal at the moment, but a goal nonetheless. And we also want to deconstruct this. Oops, I'm a bit too high. It's weird the way it does that. It like adds a job in the middle of the air that never gets done, which I don't quite like, honestly. But as soon as these have been taken out, I'll extend this pasture out a little bit. We might be able to get a few more yaks then. Now, Metasapia, how are you doing? Let's have a... Ah, no! I've made Metasapia our doctor! Well, bugger it. That's rather unfortunate, isn't it? But you're in good health now, and you're just sleeping. It looks like our flesh smith actually healed you. Well done. It appears that they feel that you will be more used to the fort alive for now, rather than as food. And I can only say that I'm glad with this. Now, as you can see, our dining hall is getting laid down. You can't actually see what it looks like right now. I will eventually have to remove the designation, because right now it kind of adds a bluish overlay over everything, so you can't easily see the way it actually looks underneath. But I will be taking that away. It even does it when I'm hovering over, it just makes it a darker blue. But I will be taking that away eventually. Actually, with those there now, I need to put down some... What is that? Is that marble floor? Marble stone? I'll have a look when that's built, whether it's dark or light, and then I'll replicate that on all 4 areas. Now, what is everyone up to? Is everyone busy? Let's see, have we got any idlers? We've only got 2 idlers. I consider that a great win. Though, having said that, that is actually a large amount of our fort. That's like a 1/6 of our fort is doing nothing. Damn it. That water is not especially satisfying, though it is refreshing at the very least. Okay, we've probably got people about to enter the fort. I really should consider putting... No! Oh! Ah! Crap! Oh well. The fight is happening, whether I want it or not. Destroy them utterly! That's the way. That happened so fast, I didn't even get a chance to properly read it. The music only played for a moment. Let's have a quick look. Everyone got in on this. Well done, all of you. That goblin was taken out by ArchXL, who kicked him in the upper body, crushing a lung. But it looks like Sheilab kicked him, hitting the upper body, smashing the skin, splintering the ribs, puncturing the right lung, stopping at the right lung, and crushing the right lung. So between Sheilab and ArchXL, they killed that goblin. ArchXL had the finishing blow. Let's find out how the other goblin died, and whether anyone else got hurt. To me, he's chopped a goblin's foot off by the look of it, or just cut it. RXL picks up the worn copper war. Wow! Did you actually beat him with the worn hammer? Because I didn't know I could equip you with that. That's awesome. Bomarito kicked him and made him drop the Warhammer. Well done, ArchXL. That's a good initiative there. And another one goes down. And ArchXL killed both of them. Very well, though this time I actually killed him by kicking him in the throat. ArchXL, you beast. We've got 2 goblin corpses that are already being turned into delicious goblin sandwiches, I'm sure. I approve. Now then, this place is still not really being built up, but let's have a quick look at the worth. It's worth 870 just from adding the stone. There's actually no furnishings in there, just the stone alone is making it worth that much, which means it's worth twice that much when calculating the arrival of nomads. I approve of this, and we've got a dedicated tailor making things. Everything's going well, but the only thing that isn't going well, I would say, is this. We really need more crates. What have we got being built here? Pine torches, pine sticks. Lots of pine sticks. Okay. Looks like I've decided to make pine sticks because I'm using them so much. I don't remember doing that, but okay. Check out the sawmill. I may have actually gone through and set all these up at some point. Has been a little while since I last played. Stonemason isn't doing anything though. That isn't so good. I may have to have a look into that. We'll definitely want to make some doors at some point. But I'm just happy that Mate Sapir is well and isn't in hospital anymore. These are good times. Now, let's continue mining over here. So, again, the regular strip mine pattern that anyone who's ever played Minecraft knows about. And we'll go from here about this deep. And just extend this. And eventually I'll just replace the walls in between with dirt. And wow, I think we've hit coal. Is this coal? Oh, fantastic. We have hit coal. That is amazing news. Truly amazing news. We may actually start getting enough stuff to... that's a lot of coal too. We may actually be able to do some work on our metal industry soon. But in the meanwhile, how about we get rid of some more of these trees and wood? Actually, no. Probably best to leave that for now. However, more goblin skulls, I think. This is definitely required. We'll stick 1 or 2 up on top. Let's build furniture. Skull on a pole. How are we going to... man, that's right. We don't get goblin skulls, do we? Why we don't get goblin skulls, I don't know. Either our butcher is so horribly bad at butchering that they basically pulverize all of the bones whilst trying to get them out, or turn them into jelly or a fine paste, or goblins don't actually have a skeleton. How they're able to maintain that humanoid form, I don't know, but oh well. But it looks like our smelter is working. Are you smelting any worn things, or no? Can I automatically smelt? No. Okay, well, I'm going to set this up then. Go ahead and smelt any worn item. I'm just going to add all of these through. If there's too many, I'll cut it out, but I don't think there are too many, since it doesn't really care what metal they're made of. If this was based on the material as well, I would be here until the end of time adding all of these. But thankfully we're onto the weapons already, so it's probably not much further. And with all of these on repeat, then we should actually get some usable ingots out of this. There we go. You've got work. Start doing it. That's fantastic. I'm really very pleased with that. But I think we are going to have to tell you to make some more crates. Let's just see what kind of wood we've got. How many wooden planks have we got? We've got 20. We've got 5 of everything. We're probably using up things a little bit too fast, maybe? You haven't got a job. Ah, of course. I'm not storing the planks. Ah. You see that orange is showing me that the workshop is basically blocked. It can't produce anymore. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to designate a stockpile purely for planks. We've got 4 different types of planks. And we'll leave that at 5 because it's not going to be accepting, it's not really going to be competing with that too much. go. Right, they will have work that they can do in a moment, but for now, I would like you to go ahead and make me some crates. Where are you? And the first thing we're going to do, we're going to make a birch crate, we're going to make a pine crate, an apple wood crate, and an orange wood crate, and that way we will then... In fact, what I'll do is I'll designate it that the crates can only store the... I'll remove this designation. I'll make it so that one crate is on each stockpile of the type of wood that the crate is made of. So I can easily tell how much of what we've got. That will actually turn out quite well. I'll get that done now. So this will be pine. And we'll set this up only to receive pine planks. Birch planks. Again, I'm not going to mess around with the priorities right now because ultimately this is somewhat of a temporary thing, but this will significantly help with getting everything else in order. As soon as we've actually finished the upper level with the wood workshop, we'll be moving all of this up there, and I'll actually set up a tiered kind of cascade of priority stockpiles so that we actually keep a fairly large amount of wooden materials on standby. Oh. There we go. Right. I just need to remember pine, birch, applewood, orange. Chop chop. Oh, of course I can't make those. Damn it! I'm going to need to make a stockpile for sticks. Ah, how frustrating that is. Let's make a quick stockpile for that just to get them out of there, and then I can sort things out. A stick stockpile. This is the problem with trying to produce large amounts of anything, really, is you'll eventually clog up the workshop itself. But on the whole, I think the rest of our stuff, the groves, are actually doing pretty well. So they're going through the groves one at a time. First is the pine grove. Well, I'm using more pine than anything else. Yeah, I'll leave them to whatever, but I would rather have the apple groves and orange groves done first. Simply because they will also give me fruit. Now, we may be about to get another invasion, possibly. It doesn't happen every night, but it does happen often enough that I start to worry every night. It sounds like the music's changing as well. Is it just changing to nighttime music or danger music? No, just nighttime music. Okay. That's not too bad then. Unless it's quite possible, actually, that the danger music only turns on when you actually spot the enemies. Right. But it looks like our Great Hall is gradually being fleshed out. We are going to need more marble, though, I think. Let me just check. How much marble do we have? Because I may need to get them up there to gather more. We've only got 20 more raw marble. We are definitely going to need more. And since it doesn't look like tonight is going to be dangerous, let's get up there and dig a whole lot more. And as we watch the marble getting mined out, I'm going to have to wrap the episode up there. Overall, I'm pretty pleased with how the specialization of professions has actually improved efficiency, or at least it appears to have improved it. Some things are a little bit slower because there aren't 4 or 5 people working on it, but just one person with high skills. But overall, it feels like the fort is a little bit more responsive, and the Great Hall is getting really close to being finished. But on that note, and with autumn here and the promise of nomads and possibly merchants bearing tea-giving mushrooms, I am going to have to leave. I hope you've enjoyed this episode, and I hope you'll join me for the next. But until then, and from everyone at Castlegoat, do take care.